Computer Kid 1416 here, and today we're going to be doing an updated retro game room tour for 2025. And as you can see, I have it set up in a spare bedroom at my house. It's about 13 by 13 foot, so not the biggest room ever, but it's, as you can see, I make more than good use of the space, and I actually like it back here. It's nice and cozy. But anyway, so as you can see, the first thing you'll notice here is got a DDR dance pad, just one of those generic mid-2000s ones from GameStop that can work on all three of the 6th generation consoles. I've been trying to get back into DDR actually. I enjoy playing it in the arcade, but I've been trying to get back into playing it at home more, and so since I got a PlayStation 2 recently, which we'll see soon, I went ahead and ordered some games for it. So yeah, gonna definitely get back into that. But anyway, so I'm gonna focus first in this video about the kind of layout of the room and kind of how I have everything set up, and then I'll get into more of the technical aspects of how I have everything hooked up at the end. That way, if you don't care about that and you only care about the layout of the room, you can leave after that. But yep, but just briefly, this is a 27-inch Trinitron here. Currently have it running the GameCube, their component, or the Wii actually, but playing a GameCube game. But again, I'll get back into more of that later. Next to the TV here, I got some bins. I believe I got these from Bed Bath & Beyond before they went out of business. As you can see, or you may be able to not be able to tell on camera as much, but it's kind of leaning. It's actually two separate units stacked on top of one another, but unfortunately it does not tend to hold together very well. So eventually I want to find a more permanent storage solution, but I mean this is good enough for now. See, I got all my stuff organized here by system. I like to play all my systems with their original wired controllers. I'm not really into the whole wireless thing. That's just me. If you are, that's great. I just like originality personally. But my TV here, I got some shelves, all the Nintendo home consoles, as well as the Atari there. I actually got most of these from the Classic Video Game Fest down in Austin back in 2022, I believe I got these, and it was a booth selling nothing but just plain cardboard boxes for the console, so I thought that was a really neat idea. So I went ahead and bought, because I already had the Wii. There's my original, and everything past that is from when I actually bought the system, but everything below that I didn't have. So yeah, I went ahead and bought the boxes, and I think they look pretty cool there. Here's my TV and console setup, which again I'll get back to later. Next to the TV, we got just a antique gumball machine, kind of filling the space. I know it's not really gaming related, but again, I just think it looks pretty cool there. It's just kind of something to fill space, I guess. Next, we got my cartridge games, or the first part of it anyway. I'm not going to go over every single game individually, but I'll just kind of pan through real quick. We got my Atari 2600 games, some of which I had to make labels for. And then going down the NES. I'm proud to say I own all the Mega Man games for NES. That's the SNES there, and then you can see I have a pretty small Sega Genesis collection. I'm not really a big Sega Genesis guy. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a rebel, I guess, but it's not that I don't like it, it's just I never really got into it. So with the exception of the Sonic games, which I grew up playing on other compilations and whatnot, but yeah, I'm not really a big Genesis guy. I mean, I may collect a few more here and there, but I'm not a huge fan, as you can see. Next, we've got N64, which, you know, it's a pretty well known fact at this point that you can go on eBay and get these labels for pretty cheap, which really does complete it in my opinion. All this is in alphabetic order, by the way. Then we got PS1 games and Dreamcast games. And then we have my newest addition to the collection, which is PlayStation 2. I got a PlayStation 2 Slim from a friend about 2 months ago, and so I've been slowly accumulating a collection here, as you can see. I mentioned I also bought some DDR games that are actually on their way now. Just they have not been delivered yet. In this case, I keep burnt Sega CD games. Again, same thing with the Genesis. I'm just not a huge Sega CD guy, although I do enjoy some of the games. So I figure if I am going to play a Sega CD game, I might as well burn it because it's really easy to do so. And again, the games are kind of expensive for someone like me who's not really not really into collecting them. So I figured I might as well just burn them that way. Next, we got definitely my most proud part of my collection. It's my Virtual Boy collection. I've got 13 out of the 14 ever released in North America. The only one I'm missing is Jack Brothers, and everything's complete in box, as you can see. So I got into that around 2013 or so when it was much more affordable than it is now. So I'm really, I think the most I paid on a game was like maybe $110 for Waterworld, something like that, and that was with the box. So those prices are unheard of today. We got some curtains, which I think look pretty good in this room. I also added that recently. On this shelf, we've got all my GameCube and above, I guess you could say. But first, I got my Virtual Boy and the box for it on the shelf here, as well as a copy of Nintendo Power. We got my GameCube collection now, which is GameCube is my favorite retro console, so I try to prioritize collecting for it. And a lot of these, actually a good majority of these, come from my childhood, so I'm really glad I held on to them, given their prices now. And then we got Wii, which I had a lot more than this when I was a kid, but a lot of it was just shovelware that I have either got rid of over the years or misplaced. So pretty much this is, for the most part, a curated collection of Wii games that I enjoy playing. We got Wii U now, and then Nintendo Switch. Don't have any physical Switch 2 games yet. I have a couple games that I got digitally just because it was easier to do so. I'm sure eventually I'll get some Switch 2 games in box, but for now I have all my games digitally. Going below that, we have the Nintendo DS games and 3DS games. Again, most of which I had as a kid. Now, as an adult, I'm not the biggest fan of handheld gaming. It's just, it's just a little kind of counterproductive, I guess you could say, to play handheld games at home, especially with the small screen and all that. So I'm not really that into handheld gaming anymore. But, of course, I grew up with handheld games, as I'm sure most people did. So most of this is just stuff I've had since I was a kid. And in these binders here, we have my actual handheld games themselves. I don't tend to worry about buying the boxes for these just because they're made of cardboard and people don't really keep them, so they're not as easy to find boxes for. So I just keep them. I bought these on Amazon, these card folders that are designed for Game Boy games. That's where I keep all those. As you can see on both shelves, I got plenty of room for expansion, so I'm glad about that. And that's another reason why this size room is actually totally acceptable for my uses, because I still have plenty of room left over. So, okay, so on the left side of the room here, we got more shelves. I got my Game & Watch and Game Boys and the DSs as well. Got some random memorabilia here. And again, this is all work in progress. I mean, anyone who's in this hobby knows it's always a work in progress, always getting new things to the collection, always shifting things around, but this is how I have it set up as of now, at least. And speaking of which, I've got my expanding poster collection. I got some advertising for Super Monkey Ball, Monkey Ball 2. This is one of my favorite GameCube franchises. I love Super Monkey Ball, so I figured it'd be fun to frame those. I also got this at the Classic Game Fest this year, the Nintendo Power talks about the DS. Got an ad for Pikmin 2, and then a poster for Donkey Kong 64 that came out of an old player's guide that I found. Another great and underrated game. And when I bought this, it was actually before Bonanza had been announced. But yeah, I'm glad there's finally a new 3D Donkey Kong game out there. This couch here is a pretty good size. It's big enough for 3 people to sit comfortably, and I do have friends over from time to time to play games with me. It can also fold to be a queen-size bed, so I do occasionally use this room for a guest bedroom, so it's nice. That was a must for me, is having a couch that could be turned into a bed if needed. I've got a bedside table beside it for just to put drinks and whatnot. I got a lamp there as well. This remote actually, so this TV here, and I guess I'll go ahead and start talking about the technical aspects here. So this TV here is a 27 Sony Trinitron 27 kV FS13, and I got this because it has component video, which is really nice to have. Like I said, I'm currently playing the Wii through component, and I also have my PlayStation 2 set up with component 2. And yeah, I mean, component is really nice if you can get it. So I've been looking for one of these Sony Trinitrons for a while. The TV my family grew up with was the 32-inch variant of this. So that's one reason why I always kind of was seeking one of these out again, is because it's what I had growing up. And the thing about the 32-inch version of this is it is big and heavy, and it's just not fun to move around. So that's why I wanted to get the 27-inch version, because I think 27-inch is a better compromise for retro gaming, because it's big enough to enjoy it. You know, it's not like you have to squint to see it, but at the same time it's not ginormous either, and you know, heavy to deal with. So yeah, I think 27 inch is actually a good size for gaming. I've had a couple different 27-inch CRTs over the years that I'll show off, but I ultimately have settled on this one because, again, it has component video, and it's very similar to the one I grew up with. And the picture on this is incredible. The camera's not doing it justice, but the color reproduction on here is really good. It's not perfect. It has a couple of geometry issues in the corner here, which you can't even see if it's on a black screen like that, which is good. But if it goes to a lighter screen here, you will see you can see a little bit of geometry issues in the corners there, which is not too uncommon with these flat Trinitrons. But I mean, honestly, unless you're seeking it out, it's not really noticeable. People have told me they didn't even notice it until I brought it up, so it's not a big deal at all. Otherwise, I mean, it looks incredible, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, unless I found another one like, you know, of the same model maybe, but otherwise I wouldn't trade this for anything. I think it's a perfect size, perfect. It looks amazing, and yeah. Computer kid from the future here. I just forgot to finish talking about this remote. Yeah, this is the original remote that came with my family's 32-inch Trinitron. And of course it works with this one as well, because the Sonys used the same codes from pretty much all time, actually. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have things come full circle and be able to use this remote again. So, you know, I got those two consoles through component video, and then everything else that can do so I have through S-Video. Like I said, I got 3 S-Video switchers there, 1 AV switch for the 2 consoles that can't use it, which are the NES and the Genesis. And yeah, so honestly, S-Video still looks pretty good though, unlike the N64 and Super Nintendo. I'm not going to go through the trouble like RGB modding, because it's really not worth it in my opinion. S-Video still looks pretty good. But, you know, again, if you can use component, it's nice to have it. It really does make the colors pop more. So yeah, that's kind of how I have everything set up. And the only thing I was going to show off, I guess, was the closet. That not too much to say about this, but pretty much just have the storage bins with stuff, and I use clear bins so I can see what's actually in here. And on top here I've got my board game collection, a bunch of Monopolies because I'm a huge Monopoly fan, and I got some poker stuff there. I like to have people over play poker sometimes, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, all in all though, I also have some posters that I need to reframe and hang, but yeah. Anyway, but this is a quick little walkthrough of my retro game setup. Like I said, always a work in progress, but if you guys are in this hobby, you know that to be the case. It's always a work in progress. You're always shifting things around and whatnot, but I mean, I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out so far. I think it's, like I said, I really like coming back here and playing games either by myself or with some friends. It's a really good time. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing, but otherwise I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.